Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Jay, and welcome back to the channel where I have the opportunity to help you with your English comprehension, vocabulary, and your English fluency. Well, on today's lesson, I have a fun story that I put together. It is a C2 read and repeat English lesson. Now, if you enjoyed today's lesson, be sure to check out some of my other lessons down in the description of today's lesson. At the end of today's lesson, as always, I'll have a few quiz questions to test your comprehension. So I hope you're ready for a little bit of laughter and some learning from today's story. Let's dive into today's lesson. Vortex Man was famous for spinning through the city, catching criminals in many tornadoes with style and speed. Let's read and repeat. Vortex Man was famous for spinning through the city, catching criminals in many tornadoes with style and speed. I hope you like the name of my superhero that I came up with, Vortex Man. So it's a superhero that I imagine arrives in a tornado. I guess Flash. No, he doesn't come in a tornado. Flash is just fast. But here we have Vortex Man. And I want to make you a little hip to some vocabulary words that are considered slang. Now, notice Vortex Man spins through the city. Okay. Now, of course, because he's in a tornado, he spins. A top can spin. I can spin the bottle. Now, to spin is a new, I guess you could say, slang term that the younger generation uses to describe someone pulling up and fighting you or jumping on you. So you might say, man, I'm about to spin on them. Hey, I'm about to spin on those fools, so I'm about to go through their neighborhood, jump out and beat on them. So I think it's funny how the younger generation takes a word and spins it and gives it a different meaning. Kind of like we used to do when I was younger. For instance, we would say, man, you look fresh. When we would normally use the word fresh to describe like produce. This is a fresh banana or a fresh apple. But we took it and we said fresh means you look nice or you smell good. You smell fresh. So spin is a word that has a formal meaning or a general meaning, but it also has a slang term to it. But here, Vortex Man goes through the city or spins through the city in style. I would get dizzy spinning in a tornado, arriving to defeat crime. But let's find out what happens. But beneath his heroic exterior, in other words, how he looks on the outside, he battled an unexpected foe or enemy. His crushing self-esteem issues. Wow. So here we have a superhero who helps others, but he has his own personal issues, low self-esteem. I find it amazing how sometimes we can present ourselves to the public as if we don't have any problems. like a superhero, but everyone has flaws. And so here you have Vortex Man. His enemy, or most common enemy, is himself, his own low self-esteem. Let's read and repeat this sentence. But beneath his heroic exterior, he battled an unexpected foe. His crushing self-esteem issues. Excellent job. So when something is crushing, it's pretty bad. Okay. It describes someone being devastated or hurt. So I can crush my foot or damage my foot if I dropped a bowling ball on it. But you can crush my feelings by what you say or what you do. Okay. I may say, hey, would you like to go out on a date with me? And you may say, I don't want to go out on a date with you. You're too tall for me. Wow, what a blow. That's crushing. That hurts. So Vortex Man had low self-esteem, and it was harming him internally or mentally. Let's see what happens. His tight superhero outfit, a bright orange jumpsuit that clung to every inch, didn't help matters. So Vortex Man was self-conscious about how he looked, especially in his superhero outfit or costume. He didn't like the way it fit. It was too, as we would say, clingy, or simply put, it was too tight. So I'm a slender man, and I like to wear clothes that fit, but not too tight. Have you ever seen young kids, young people? They wear not only skinny jeans, but they have some that are called extreme slim fit. I mean, it's like, they can barely walk. And so Vortex Man outfit fits too tight, and it causes him to lose a little confidence in himself. I don't know, maybe Vortex Man is a little big or thick and his costume is too tight, or maybe he's slim and he's not muscular and it hugs him and he looks really thin and weak. It could go either way, but nevertheless, he is struggling with low self-esteem. Let's read and repeat this sentence. His tight superhero outfit, a bright orange jumpsuit that clung to every inch, didn't help matters. Why does this have to be so snug? That's a great way to describe something that clings. It's a snug fit. You know, when I used to go try on clothes as a child, my mother would make me, how can I say it? She would make me bend down to check my crotch area. Now imagine my mother with a child. She's, how does that feel down there? You know, just making sure it doesn't cling too tight or fit too snug. Okay. Didn't want to hurt those family jewels, as we used to say. He often muttered or complained, tugging at the fabric and dodging awkward glances. So people would look at him pretty funny or strangely because of how his outfit looked on him. Let's read and repeat. Why does this have to be so snug? He often muttered. You know, when someone mutters, and you're like, you may say, for instance, do you like my food? And you're like, this is delicious, but it's really nasty. So you mutter something. Okay, you complain at a low voice, tugging at the fabric and dodging awkward glances. Awkward, 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 or strange. One day, while stopping a bank robbery, his suit ripped dramatically mid-spin. So while he was spinning around, rip, leaving him in mismatched pajamas he had worn underneath. Come on now, Vortex man. You could at least leave the house with matching pajamas on. You know, my mother used to ask me, she said, look, you're leaving to go to school. You got on clean socks. You got on clean underwear. What if you have an emergency and the paramedics show up and you have on dirty underwear or dirty socks? Don't embarrass me. So I can relate, Vortex man. Let's read and repeat. One day, while stopping a bank robbery, his suit ripped dramatically mid-spin, leaving him in mismatched pajamas he had worn underneath. Great job. Instead of running in embarrassment, he finished the job, trapping the robbers in a whirlwind. Let's read and repeat. Instead of running in embarrassment, he finished the job, trapping the robbers in a whirlwind. So running in embarrassment. So when you do something that's shameful or something you are ashamed, usually we try to hide or shelter ourselves. So he did not run from his embarrassment. Okay, but he did his job. He did what he needed to do. Now we're almost done. To his surprise, the crowd cheered louder than ever, loving his impromptu costume. Nowadays, somebody may say, take it off. Let's read and repeat. To his surprise, the crowd cheered louder. Yay! Yeah! Louder than ever, loving his impromptu costume. So when something is impromptu, we often describe that as at the spur of the moment. Okay, something that is done without plan. It was impromptu. Okay, and finally, realizing his heroic deeds mattered more than his outfit, Vortex Man vowed to fight his inner critic as fiercely as he fought crime. Oh, what a great lesson. Who we are on the inside matters more than what we look like on the outside. Now, our appearance matters, but it's the heart of a person that matters most, the intent of a person. And so that's a great lesson from my story today. So many people are self-conscious about how they look, but they're actually good people that are productive citizens. And that's all that matters. You can work on the outside. It's what's on the inside that takes time and great effort. And I believe once a person fixes what's on the inside, their heart, then it will manifest and be demonstrated in how they carry themselves. So we can learn something from Vortex Man. Let's read and repeat. Realizing his heroic deeds, what he did, his heroic works, mattered more than his outfit or his costume. Vortex Man vowed or promised to fight his inner critic or his consciousness as fiercely or strongly as he fought crime. Excellent job. Excellent job. I hope you enjoyed my explanation as well as my story that I put together. What I want to do now is read through the same story at a quicker pace, as I always do, without stopping. So let's dive back into today's story from the top. Vortex Man was famous for spinning through the city, catching criminals in mini tornadoes with style and speed. But beneath his heroic exterior, he battled an unexpected foe, his crushing self-esteem issues. His tight superhero outfit, a bright orange jumpsuit that clung to every inch, didn't help matters. "Why does this have to be so snug?" he often muttered, tugging at the fabric and dodging awkward glances. One day, while stopping a bank robbery, his suit ripped dramatically mid-spin, leaving him in mismatched pajamas he had worn underneath. Instead of running in embarrassment, he finished the job, trapping the robbers in a whirlwind. To his surprise, the crowd cheered louder than ever, loving his impromptu costume. Realizing his heroic deeds mattered more than his outfit, Vortex Man vowed to fight his inner critic as fiercely as he had fought crime. Dun, 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 Vortex Man. All right, let's look at a few quiz questions. What does impromptu mean? Impromptu. Okay. Number 2, what does self-esteem mean in the context of the story? Okay. I described self-esteem in the story. Let's see if you can remember the answer. And finally, what does crushing mean? And I gave a couple of definitions of crushing, but in the context of the story, unless you want to give me both answers. So be sure to be able to answer these questions verbally, but I love when you put the answers down in the comments section. Now, as many of you know, I have been on Thanksgiving vacation, and this is my first week back. So thanks, guys, for being patient with me. As I said in a post, content creation is really, really hard and takes a lot of time. And I know you guys enjoy my lessons, and so I enjoy putting them out. I just needed a break. And so I'm back, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson, as well as my story that I had on my other channel, Parlay with Jay. Be sure to check that out. There was a great conversation we had. That link is down in the description. Well, as always, if you enjoyed today's lesson, be sure to share it with a friend. And as always, I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I hope to see you then.